Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Scott Lombardo from QSC and Paco from ProTech Marketing here at Performance Audio in Salt Lake City. Going to do some demos for you here on some QSC products. So I don't know how many of you have heard QSC products before or think maybe you haven't, but I can tell you that if you've been anywhere in the world, you probably have. QSC is in so many different places, including cruise ships, airports, coliseums, college auditoriums, high school auditoriums, football stadiums, or if you've ever been to a place called the movies, like a cinema, you've probably heard QSC before. So QSC's been around for about 50 years now, prided in quality products from the very beginning, reliability being the core of our being. And what we're going to be demoing today is a couple of our newer products. The Touchmix 30 Pro digital mixer, where we just broke into the digital mixer market a few years ago, and that's been very successful. And then we're also going to be looking at a new product called K.2, our K-Series powered loudspeakers, which are original K-Series, basically owned and existed in the market for 7 years, and we just finally came out with a new version of it, which is just going to blow your mind. Hopefully you get a good idea what it sounds like here on video, and hopefully we can also get you to come down to Performance Audio today and get a good listen with your ears. I'm going to turn things over to Paco to go over some different details, kind of a overview of the mixer and the speakers, get you a good idea what's going on, and I'm going to jump off video and get on Facebook, so if you have questions there, that you can post those on Facebook, and we'll be answering those for you in real time as the video goes on. So I want to say thanks for being here. It's going to be an awesome day. We got a training going on right now, and then we have another one at 4 p.m. As well. So if you can't stay now, you can sign back in later, or you can look at it recorded, and hopefully either make it down here sometime this afternoon to give everything a listen in person. So thanks a lot, and I'm going to turn everything over to Paco.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. Welcome back. If you're tuning in for the first time, we're doing these trainings now live on Facebook with Performance Audio. We're trying to reach out and reach as many of you as we can. We really want you to come down and see the quality of what we're presenting here in the Touchmix 30, as well as the K.2s. That's where you find kind of the more intimate environment, and you really get to hear and see the quality of the products here. With that said, I'm going to jump right into the Touchmix 30. So Touchmix 30 Pro, new digital mixing console that QSC has out. We're going to go into a little bit of a tighter shot here. Kind of the nice thing here is I have control of the camera work. So as we get into a tighter shot here, it's going to give you a little bit more of a close-up view of what the console's about. So you have 24 microphone inputs. Okay, you've got 14 auxiliary outputs. You've got a main left and right out, and you have a monitor left and right out, all XLR outs. On your 24 inputs, your last 4 inputs can accommodate 1/4-inch inputs, so they're stereo inputs on them. We do have all of our gain or trim knobs up top, easily accessible. Okay, and then we have a very large multi-touch screen here, so allowing you to, if I go into my home screen here and I see all of my inputs here, or at least the bank of first 8, I can grab a single one, or I can grab 2 and move at the same time. And that's kind of the big thing, is it's a multi-touch screen. Okay, if you look across the top of this here, you're going to see all of your inputs laid out with your outputs. So it's kind of your master section. So 1 through 8. If I want to shift, I don't necessarily swipe, but I can actually just touch and move along my input level here. I can go to my next set of input levels, so on and so forth. So we're moving through our effects masters, our auxiliaries, as well as subgroups, and yes, DCAs on our Touchmix Pro. Along the left side here, to what you're looking at here, you have your auxiliaries, so easy access to your auxiliaries. As we move through there, let me get back into my inputs here. And then what I can do here is as I select through my 14 auxiliaries, I can mix literally from the faders here, put in whatever I would like into my auxiliaries, all at just a simple touch here. Back to my main left and rights. Okay? If at any point you're moving through the Touchmix and you feel like, where am I at, where am I at? You've got a home button here. Let's say I'm into the menu selection here and I'm like, oh, that's not what I wanted. Right back to my home section. So you're never really lost if you need to just get back to the main page or your mixing page, whatever you want to call it at that point. Once we select an input, push a little harder on that one, gives you an overview. You can select your EQ, compression, gate, access your effects, whatever you have set up as far as your effects go, and we'll cover some of that. You can also get into your auxes that way as well, and you can see what's assigned where. So right now we've got something assigned to our aux 3. And then probably what's going to be really attractive is the presets. We have over 120 presets in the console, and we're going to roll through those right now. So if you look here, we've got presets for bass, we've got drums, guitars, keyboard, percussion, strings, vocals and speech, wind and brass. So as we go through these, what we're looking at, let's take drums for example, and I'm going to look at the type of system that I have. You know, do I have a system with subs? Do I have a system without subs? That kind of a thing. When I look at my drums, I'm looking at this one where it says kick, no sub. Does my system have no sub? Yeah, no sub. So this tuning here is also going to ask me, is it a kick with no sub? Is it a kick with no sub jazz? Is it a kick with no sub rock? All right, well, let's throw that one in there. Kick with no sub rock. We're going to recall that. Yes. And as I go back to my overview, it's going to set up my tunings for that. For those of you that are just starting maybe in a digital world, don't have a ton of experience, that's extremely valuable. As well as the seasoned engineers. Like even the seasoned engineers, maybe you're in a time crunch and you just got to get this up and get it going. You roll in with your Touchmix 30. You can go through your presets. You can see the system that is either in or not in. Maybe you're bringing the system in. Maybe it's already supplied there. Very quickly, you're going to start with some very high-end presets that are going to get you up and running as quickly as possible. If you're an inexperienced engineer, it's going to give you an idea of what you're looking at. Now you're able to set it up, have quality sound, without having to go through everything of the headaches of, oh my gosh, feedback this, I'm not sure quite what that's going to do. Maybe with this, very simple, very easy to set up. Speaking of easy and simple and advanced, we do have a screen mode here. Advanced. I can change it. Are you sure that you want to set all screens to advanced mode? Yes, I do. So maybe I say yes. What that's going to give me is a different look on, so I go to my home screen, I go to my kick, it's going to give me a little bit of a different look on my EQ. So now I've got a full parametric here. Before, I would have had just one or two of these. Back to my home, go back to my menu, screen mode, cancel, we can clear that out, come back into here. Very simple way to get things set up quickly is what we're trying to get at with that there. We also have a playback section here where we can do a playback off of an MP3 list. Okay, you go into your record section. We've got something playing right now. We're hooked up to a left-right on our K.2s. We're actually on our 10s. I can either control it from here. I can come back into my home screen. I can select from my inputs here. And all of this again can be assigned to any of our 1 through 14 auxiliary sends. I'm going to jump around a little bit here. Overview. What's really nice on this is that we have a minus and plus 15 dB digital trim as well. So if you're having to do some tweaking and some monitor setups and you're mixing from here, you can actually set up some different gain structures for some of your monitor setups. You don't necessarily have to affect everything out at front of house, which is really nice. Another way to access your auxiliary sends, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can also do it right through here. Let's jump into our effects. So on our effects side here, you can see we select our effect. It gives us all of our parameters, what you've come to know in the industry as some of the higher end effect units, and they're going to be replicated here as well. We can assign them through our auxes, and then we come into our presets, and you can see your factory setups in here. If I want to recall something different, simply hit recall. Yes. And now we'll come back to our overview, and we'll simply changed into our effects. And now we're at a different delay on our effects. Kind of a quick version getting through that. One thing I wanted to show you as well is once we come back into our home screen, and you're going to select into here, your pan and everything off of your, come back into our home, select it, and then up top here, we come into our setup screen, okay? You can change the name in there if you'd like. You've got your delay setup right here. You've got your digital trim in here. You've got your assignments down below, whether you want to do a subgroup, a DCA, or a mute, okay? Your phantom power. And then from here, as opposed to always having to go back to your home screen, you can if you want, you can just simply come back into this and hit the next button. Next, next. And I can scroll through all of my inputs, all of my outputs, simply by that same screen right there. If I wanted to link channel 1 to channel 2, simply hit link. It's going to ask you, are you sure? Yes. And now I'm linked to whatever the next channel is coming up there. So let's unlink that. Unlink. Back to my main, my overview, my home screen. Okay. Keep in mind we can do 32 tracks of recorded and playback to a USB drive. Playback tracks are MP3. Okay. You can use this as a digital audio workstation. We can do a 32 by 32 core audio. It's compatible with Mac OS. Okay. 120 preset EQs in there at your fingertips. Okay. We do have a wizard section. Okay. We can roll through any of our gain structure wizards. This is kind of a really cool one here. Once you get into it, it helps you set gain structures for the novice that come in and are learning to mix on digital consoles. Come back to our wizard section. You also have a tuning. This one does really well when you're trying to set up a room. Maybe you're not quite sure how you want to set it up. You're having some issues with it. It's actually going to help you set, and it talks you through all of this on how you want to get everything set up in a room. Okay, so we're going to move. You can do that. I've got speakers. I'm going to hit measure. Since I didn't have an actual microphone sitting out here that was running back into my console, it's not going to give me measurements, but at least it gives you an idea of once you hit that measurement, it's going to send out some pink noise for you to do your measurements by. We'll hit finish, and then if I want to navigate to a graphic and make whatever adjustments I feel necessary, I can do that. Back to our home screen. Want to go into our output section here. So in our output section, when I select an auxiliary, go into my overview, it's going to ask whether I want a delay on it. So I've got delay on my outputs. I've got a parametric that I can set up. I've also got a graphic and an anti-feedback filter. So this is a great feature on this system that not all consoles have, and it's really intuitive, very intelligent feedback filter. I don't have another live microphone in here now, but it's going to be a little difficult to tell on Facebook whether or not it's working accurately. If it's something that you're really interested in, come on down. There's going to be a lot of features on this that you're going to have questions about. Ask them, but come on down and let us take you more in depth on those features here so that you get an actual good listening experience with it. Limiters per output, okay? And then let's just jump right over to our main. I'm going to select that one. back to the overview, some of the exact same stuff. If I go into my setup tab, and this is what I really wanted to show you, what the Touchmix offers that not a lot of them do is we pair up a lot of our own speakers with our own console here. So at the top of this, you have an amplifier selection. It's going to tell you if you're using a GXD amplifier, it's going to give you settings on how to set up your amplifier. It's going to ask you, are you on the E series, K series, K2, KLA, or KW? So it gives you a wide variety of powered speakers that you can use with this console or any speaker. Our first setup being the E series, it's the passive. What are we using and what are we using it for? Great. 12's great. Then that's what I'm going to choose for my left and right mains. Or I don't have to use it. I can set up my own. K.2's. I'm using some K10.2's. It's going to give me a gain control here to set up. Very simple. Very easy to do. Or, again, I can set up my own. I know for right now in the room that I'm in, if I set my gain structure there, it's going to be way too loud. I'm going to move a fader, you know, just so much, and it's going to be like, it's going to kill us. So I've got them turned way down. With that said, those are just some of the features that we have to offer on this console. I know you're going to have more questions. I don't want to spend too much. I could actually spend an entire hour more than that on just going through the features of this console. If you're more interested, come on down. Come see us here. I'll take you through it. If you have one and you're unsure about it, look at the info button right here. And when you go into your mixer setup, there's an area here called specs. And this is going to give you a rundown of everything on this console, what it's capable of, what it's not capable of. Well, I shouldn't say what it's not. It's more like what can it do? It can do more than what you know. So keep that in mind. But yeah, very good section here to have and to know that that is actually right there at your fingertips. Okay, go back to my home screen. With that said, I'm going to actually zoom out here and we're going to move over to the K.2s here. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about this speaker and where it's come from, what it's doing. I'm going to show you the back of it because they've made some small changes to the back of the system. And we'll zoom on in here. Make sure we get a good shot of this. I want you to see this. Perfect. So if you're familiar with the Legacy series, some of this is going to look a little different. Made some minor changes, but what you need to know is that it's the same power, it's the same ABS enclosure for the same kind of quality. Quality is what we're all about, is making sure that we carry on that same quality through all of our product lines. With that said, as you're looking at the back of this, you have two balanced inputs, you do have two balanced pass-throughs, and you have a combined mix on the out. We've added a mini jack on the back. We've replaced the dual RCAs with the mini jacks. So everybody carries a mini to mini. I think what it was is not too many people are carrying the dual RCAs, and so makes it a whole lot easier for people to get in there. So basically you have a 3-channel mixer on the back of this right here. A lot of people want to play minus tracks, they want their microphone, they want their guitar, and now you're set up to do your own basically professional mixing is what you're looking at. Okay, we've got a new improved section here with some presets for the new and or a quick setup. Let's say you don't have a mixing console and you just need a little bit more EQ from what you're playing, and maybe you just want to, a little bit more low end or a little bit high mids depending on your application. We do now have presets in here. I'm not going to scroll through every single preset. It's going to be a little hard for you to see on the camera, but do understand that there's a pile of presets in there. You can also do user presets, or excuse me, user settings, where you can save your own settings into the speaker and set up your own here. So on this screen here, you've got a crossover, you've got a delay, 100 milliseconds of delay built into this now. You've got EQ in there, so you can set your own settings in there and save them for future projects. With that said, we'll just kind of roll into, I'm not going to roll through all of them, but you've got live, you've got a dance setting, you've got a stage monitor setting, you've got a bass amp setting, you've got a head mic setting. So basically what I'm on right now, you can set a preset in there as well. A studio monitor setting for a studio monitor situation. I don't think anybody's really going to, and maybe they will, use them as a primary studio monitor, but a lot of people are using them as, once they're done post-mixing, and then they'll play everything through that to get a real-world environment on it. 2,000 watt box. The big thing about these guys is that when you are properly, I'm going to pull out to a wide shot here, guys, so forgive me. When properly powered, it's still the same reliable Class D style amplifier where you can run any 5 of these, any combination, be it K.2, K.2, anything in the house, a K-line, any 5 of them on a dedicated 15 amp circuit wide open, and you're not going to harm or pop your circuit. So that's the quality that most people have come to love on these. Come on down. Please come down. Come see us here. We really want you to hear these things in the room. We want you to touch and feel the Touchmix 30 Pro. It is just really kind of an experience that you need to have down here. We're here all day. Our next session will be from 4 to 5. Any questions you may have, feel free to email us down here. In fact, you can email me directly if you'd like. If you haven't posted anything on the Facebook already, Paco@protecm.com. We'd love to help you out down here at Performance Audio. We'll be here all day.